Welcome to the Bronx with Biggie. I'm your girl, Coach Biggie, and we're on another Monday Blues in divine timing with
Yeah,
my boy Trimz. As you can see,
how y'all doing?
my guy over here is gonna tell us his story. But to begin with, just so we know, Monday Blues is about our artistry, our passion, and our experiences. And with this week, we have a special guest. You know what? I'm gonna let him tell his story. I'm gonna go ahead. We can start with why in divine timing are we in this special time together, and our connection, and what experiences have brought us together.
First, my name is Andre Trimmings. I go by Trimz online. That's my little name. I mean, it kind of comes from my dad. My dad was in the military. His last name Trimmings, but everybody called him Trim. And when it came time to make a username, I was always like, I don't really know what to do. So I took Trim and threw the Z on there as Trims. So
Mhm.
I mean, that's how I got the name. And then say in divine timing, I would say this came about just from us knowing each other and going on our own separate paths and building ourselves and then eventually coming back together. Like who would have known me doing what I'm doing and you doing what you're doing would lead us to being on the podcast one day. And
Mhm.
to be honest with you, it makes me laugh a little because I don't even see myself as a person on camera. So here
There you
we
go.
go.
Exactly, but that's that courage, that courage that brought you here.
Now we met at Kennesaw. I started off at a 2-year school back in my hometown. It was College of Coastal Georgia when I first started. No, yeah, and then it ended up moving up to a 4-year college. And by the time it transitioned into that, I had just finished with my associate's degree. And an advisor of mine told me about Kennesaw State, and I told him I wanted to go for business administration. So he
Mm.
told me Kennesaw had one of the best business schools in the state, and I should look into going there. So I ended up applying, doing everything I needed to do. I got approved, and well, I got accepted, and made my way up there. And Kennesaw was a journey. It was a whole lot of learning of myself, learning what I liked, what I didn't like. Like I met a lot of people when I first got there. When I first got there, I was already 21, so I was trying to keep it low. So I was like, I'm not trying to be the guy that's making the liquor runs all the time for everybody.
Right.
So I pop out, I say what's up, and then I go back to my little hiding spot. And
Yeah.
but I ended up making some pretty good connections and just being cool with a lot of people I didn't expect to be cool with, and eventually that led me to the basketball team and getting to know you, getting to know CK, getting to know Demetria, Bria,
Mhm.
Nicole, all of them. Like it was definitely something I didn't think I was going to be doing, but
Right.
I enjoyed it, like the whole ride of it. I enjoyed going and traveling to different states, seeing different schools, seeing different everything. Like it was all just a dope experience, man. I'm grateful to know you think this much of me to even have me on the platform. And I think back to like my first published article was about Miss Basketball, cousin
Right.
herself.
Yeah, it was on the 2013 or 14
A-Sun magazine.
ASUN
Yeah, I
magazine.
got a copy of it. I kept one of them. I got it out in my own storage unit out there in Austin where I was living at.
Okay.
I'm gonna get that framed and put up one day.
Yeah, me too. I have like 4 copies of them. Just so you guys know, like every March Madness, our conference, the Atlantic Sun Conference, we were blessed to make a couple of them, but the top 8 teams will go and try to fight for that big dance.
Yeah.
And one of them was Trimz himself had his article posted on the magazine that was given out to all the players and the families, and it was something dope. I was reading some of them, and this one particularly spoke about my criminal justice major and my journey, and how I have the passion that I have just to serve and help people. But that was not the case in regards to where I'm at now. I wanted to do homicide detective. I wanted to do that path, and I'm actually an EMT. So I am serving my community, and I'm still helping the people out.
Yeah,
I'm
still that
still,
passion to serve.
and we're, and it was like I didn't find myself following that path at all, and it shows exactly, kind of like where you're living now,
Yeah.
Trim's like that confidence to still be in and do what you love.
Yeah, like I would say a lot of it just comes from my upbringing. Like I was saying, my dad was in the military, so every 3 years they get a permanent change of station
Mm-hmm.
paper form. They can kind of say, well, maybe I don't like living here. I want to live somewhere else. Like I was born in Germany, so I mean I can do the whole dual citizenship thing if I like to. I just never pushed it. I'm cool with being over here. I don't really know anybody over there, so I ain't never really pushed for that. But
Like,
just we lived in several different places over in Germany. We lived over in California. He's been down to Florida, Kansas, like anywhere he's ever lived after they ended up getting divorced, we were able to go to and kind of just check stuff out. So
mm-hmm.
I never had a fear of moving. I always felt like every few years I needed to go try something new anyway. That's just how I'm used to life. So
Right.
after a while being back home, finishing up that associate's degree, I didn't mind going up to Kennesaw and trying that out and seeing what it was like. And then after Kennesaw, I moved back home for a couple of years and then decided I wanted to move for better opportunity because the place I'm from, Brunswick, Georgia, is pretty small. There's not a whole lot of
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. It's more so like a retirement cities. It's a coastal city, so I mean, there's the beach there. There's St. Simon's, Jekyll Island, all that kind of stuff. So you can definitely just hang out and enjoy yourself. But if you have a little more drive, you want to try and find something more. And I was telling you before, I was thinking about going to Houston. That was my goal. When I packed up my car and was like, I'm moving. Like my goal was to get out to Houston, but
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, I ended up making my way out to Austin. My brother was living out there, and he knew somebody that let me stay in their house. So I ended up living in Killeen. Not never even heard of Killeen before until I moved there, and
Mm-hmm.
just got out there, just started working, trying things, and that's kind of where the idea for Divine Time and Watches was born at.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying, like my first watch, the name of it is the Dawn, and the idea of it is that it's darkest before dawn. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what's going on, it always gets better. There's always sun on the other end of this, so just keep going. As long as you keep going, it's going to get better. And it ended up being something I took from out of my mind and made into a reality. It's a whole business. I have a few watches. I made one. The Promise was the first women's watch I ever came up with. It was just like in my mind, it was the promise from God that whatever you do will succeed. And
Mm-hmm.
that was actually my first one to sell out. So it encourages you that hey, whatever it is you're saying you're gonna do can happen and it will happen. You just gotta keep working at it, keep going. Don't give yourself the opportunity to quit, even if it gets rough. Because in everything in life, it gets rough sometimes.
It doesn't keep you from building. That fear doesn't stop you. You know what I mean? It encourages you to seek different avenues and to seek different paths. And when I came across your watches, and the first thing I said, I'm like, yo, each one individual has its own little story. Like I
Yeah,
can, but when you put it on, it's like you gain this confidence of, for example, the dawn, like you were saying, it has the double meaning to me, where in Spanish, don is like the dawn. I'm walking in, and it's like you gonna hear and feel
big
me,
dog.
give out that energy. And being a very masculine woman, I'm still feminine in my own way, where it's still a sleek look, where I'm still keeping my personality. At
Yeah,
the same time, it gives off, that feel. So to understand the meaning behind them all and have that individuality between each watch is something special. And I wish I had them at my arm's reach right now, but
as you say.
just let them know where can they find them. Like, is it on the
uh,
page itself?
Well, say you can get them on the page, and we got it down here on the link. The Instagram page is Divine Time and Watches, Divine Time and Timing Watches, WATCHES. Somewhere
Yes,
there, and then
yes.
it's also on www.divinetimeandwatches.com, and you can pull
Okay.
that up, and you can see the whole selection of them. I've written a few blog posts where I try to be more uh intimate in my showings of myself and like things that encourage me, places where I feel like I'm struggling as a person, but I'm looking to grow past them. Just trying to get better at putting more blog posts out, but a lot of it is sensitive stuff to me. So I got to
Mhm.
kind of deal with the emotions of it and then be able to move myself into the place where I can share it and not really take to heart anything that someone might say about whatever it is I'm sharing, you know.
Okay.
But we're
That
growing.
right. That's growth. I mean, at the end of the day, being vulnerable is not easy, and putting our story out there is also not easy.
Yeah.
But it's something that we're passionate in doing. And with that being said, is it something that you would want to moving forward do as far as the blogging, and like how do you see yourself within this arena of, because I know you did broadcasting in the past, you did a lot of journalism and writing, you have a freaking major in communications.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I'm looking to try and put more words to paper
okay,
and start getting things out. I guess it's easier for me to write about someone else because there's not a high level of vulnerability I feel I have to share.
okay,
Like the most I'm doing is placing my interpretation of someone else's life or their vision out there. And yeah, you can comment and say, I don't like the way he wrote this, or I don't like the way he worded that. But I mean, in the end, it's still my interpretation of this person's life or this person's skill set.
hmm,
So the heaviness of it doesn't necessarily fall on me. Whereas the stuff I'm sharing, the heaviness of it is mine. The words that I'm putting out are mine, and it's like who is that? Erica Badu. She was like, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. You know,
right, right,
like I put it out there. You might say something crazy. I'm like, all right now, because I lived through this, bro. Don't take it there.
right, right, right,
I'm getting there. I got a few written up. I just never hit the launch button on them to kind of upload them. But we getting to that point, and a lot of it is just it's forcing me to have tough conversations with people in my family that I feel I've wrote things about and would like to share, but now I'm not sure how they'll take it. So I got to make sure I have that conversation with them first and really deal with those issues. So that way, when it presents itself, no one's blindsided by it, or with
right,
friends or stuff like that. That may have been things I had to learn to grow through and mature from. And now I don't want no one to feel like shooting at them or knocking them down in any way, shape, or form. I'm just expressing the things that I've held deep down that I wasn't sure of, you know?
correct.
And the only way to really start getting past a lot of it is to openly express it. You got to let that thing out in order to breathe, you know?
Hmm. And how do you feel with podcasting, and have you ever been in this realm of, no, this is
Uh, I'm a person, I'll listen to them. I enjoy listening to them. I like hearing people's aspects on things. I like hearing other people's thoughts and how they go about it. Like I've never been the person that's been stuck in my own box. Like the only
right,
way I know to think is the way I think, and everything else is stupid. That's never been my thing. I'm always
open.
throwing myself into someone else's culture, into their lives, into whatever they got going on, so I can see the world through their eyes, and then that helps me have a better understanding of the entire world. Like when I was out there in Austin, Texas, like a bunch of my friends were Mexican. And
Hmm.
some of them were like born and raised in Mexico. They made their way over here. Some of them were like Mexican, American. Just I don't know what that life's like. So I gotta talk to y'all. I gotta ask questions. I gotta see what you're talking about. I gotta see how
Right,
you interact with your family and just allow it to be exactly what it is, not trying to throw my own interpretation on it. I mean, it's learning how to see the world through their eyes, but then relating it back to mine. Like I can't think of the name of the song, but like it's a song one of my friends likes to play, and in my mind, the way I connect it is like a DJ Yola song. That I ain't gonna let up, no, I'm
right,
gonna burn that up. Yeah, like it's their version of that. So when I hear it, I already know what they're thinking when it plays. It's like, oh, this is that to them. So it's like
right.
I get hyped with them, like, hey, you just
You was
feel
always, yeah,
it.
you always loved the Hispanic culture, because I would listen to my music back in school, and you would just be all in it.
It's time to
You
move,
learn
man.
Spanish better? Have you been? taking some lessons down. You still, come on,
You
man.
know, I can say some words here and there.
Dímelo. ¿Qué fue?
Huh?
Never mind.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to work on that. We have
Hey,
to work
you
on that.
know, say it too.
Yeah, there you go. No bien, gracias.
So here and there, I can throw something out, but for some of it, I can kind of catch what they're saying because I know a few words,
Right.
but I couldn't speak back to them.
So that's is
I
where
have
it's
to answer in English.
that's facts. As long as you can communicate some way somehow, it,
Yeah,
that language barrier is not gonna stop you.
for sure.
I know that's right. No, well, I look forward to seeing what else Divine Time and Watches has. I know you guys are brewing up something new. So, what are your next projects and what do you have coming up?
I got a few people I want to do some more collab watches with. So, my first collaboration watch was with a company out in St. Louis, a clothing brand in blue. Like I met them
Yeah.
just online promoting my stuff and promoting other people's stuff. Like there was a natural toothpaste company, MB Naturals. They that was somebody I'm kind of bumped into online and Twitter. I'm just trying to. I started when I kind of went vegan after I finished college. I was just online trying to find different things that were like vegan friendly, and that was one of the things that popped up. And she was just starting her company. I just promoted because me being the person I am, like I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like it costs you anything to show somebody some love. So I'm promoting your stuff like it's mine, like I'm gonna get $1 off of it or something.
Right,
I like seeing people win.
right.
And once I started my company, she realized it was me. She just started throwing my name in different hats, and me and the guy from In Blue linked up, and he reached out to me, was like, "Let's do a collab," and we put together two different watches, and we put those out, and that's been a really big thing for me. And honestly, like the city of St. Louis promotes me like I'm from there, and
I love it.
it's love out there. I actually want to eventually get out there and do like a pop-up shop or something, just so I can kind of get into the feel of it all and see their city from their eyes, you know.
I would
But
love it.
I got a few people, like two different companies I'm trying to do some collab watches with. Just kind of relaxing right now. I'm spending too much money on anything else. While like I was telling you, I got a young one on the way. This will be my first one, so
Yes,
I'm trying
sir.
to
Congratulations.
yeah, appreciate it, man. So I'm
Big
trying to put
papi.
that into motion. How you say the dome?
Yeah, right. You want to be a don. You starting your legacy, baby. Come
Yeah,
on
man.
now. I love it.
So I'm focusing on making sure everything is good for that, and then from there I want to probably next year, second quarter of the year, I'm trying to jump back out with both of them and get both of those out so we can get that going. I got a couple ideas for women's watches that I want to put out first, well, right after those, because honestly, that's where a lot of my supporters come from. Like the a lot of the watches sell, but the women's watches fly. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure what it is or how I'm marketing it that really
They're
connects
so
with the
beautiful and
women, but
sleek.
they
Very
rock
unique.
with
Yeah.
it. So I want to keep serving the people that are supporting me the most, you know. So I mean, those that's really where I'm going with it. I've already started working with a different manufacturer so I can get some better quality stuff put out. So they give me more leeway with my designing, so I can kind of really come up with the whole thing from scratch and not have to use some of their uh, pre-built designs, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I can kind of really get my own little spin on it and really show what I mean when I say divine timing.
Mm.
I'm excited about that. So I
Very
mean, I'm getting all the behind the scenes stuff put together. So when it's time for it to launch, I can put out the best product every single time. And I really want to, once it gets to the point where it's rolling again, I can kind of step back from working as much. I
Mm-hmm.
can just start jumping out to different cities inside their different festivals and put my hat down. You know, like divine timing. We here. I want to have one out there in St. Louis, and in my mind, I want to have leave a set of watches in every city I live in. So like any city I've ever lived in, any city I ever will live in, I want to connect with a jewelry company out there and see if I can get some watches in their shops or in their stores. So it shows a trail of where I've been. It's divine time and the whole story of it, and I can eventually take that and write it down and put that out, like the story of divine time, and then the route
Mm-hmm.
it took to be where we are. You know,
Well,
so
you let me know when that stop is in Kennesaw, or you got to come out to New York City for some reason.
the show. I've never been to New York. I want to though.
Hey, well, it'll make its way because you already found me. So,
Yeah.
and like I said, I wish I had them with me because they all over the house. But I'm the
Yeah,
viewer.
we can do that so I can
Okay.
grab
Yeah,
them.
go ahead and grab them. Yeah,
For
go ahead
sure,
and
for
grab
sure.
them. All right. Once again, I am your girl, Coach Biggie. This was another Bronx with Biggie podcast, the Monday Blues segment. We went live in regards to having a special guest. Once again, it was Trimz, Divine Timing Watches. This is the whole point of building and getting together, collaborating, making sure that we're building one another. Different paths of lives. We met in Kennesaw through the basketball team. Once again, through basketball, it's more than just a sport. It's a whole family. It's an experience. It's you meet people that you will never forget. It's your community. And at the end of the day, Trims himself, one of the team managers, someone who didn't have to do it, who's just found himself in a place where he was serving a community of people who share the same thing, and that's ball. And now we're here at a different place in our lives, and I'm doing my podcasting, and I'm working and serving my community every day in New York City, and he's, doing his thing now in Kentucky. So, and he's here to just show you that it doesn't just stop. And check it out. I
Yeah. So I mean, I ran over and grabbed them real quick. Let me get the camera angle right. There we go. So I mean, it's some of my different ones. Like the very first one I was telling you about this year is the Dawn.
okay.
And then we got favorite here. Favorite that was in my mind. The color of it is the gold, and to me, it meant like you have favor no matter what. Anything you touch, you have favor on it will turn to gold. So never be afraid to put yourself out there to try something new. Whatever you touch, it will work. And
Mhm.
we got some of our women's ones. It's one of the Emerald Collection
Mhm.
for women, and the Promise. Here's the first women's one I had that ended up selling out. This one went like crazy. It made me
Yeah.
feel good. I kept one because I was like, it's the first thing I've ever put out that sold out. So I for sure wanted one of them so I could always remember it. And then
Correct.
these here too with the eight face on them says in blue on them as well. These are the collaboration ones I had. So the blue one I put together, and then the rose gold one he put together, and we kind of just collabed on that to make that work. So I mean, these are my watches right now, and we're always growing, always making more. And when I create them, I bring them all in. I order them. I order the whole set, so I have all the inventory. It's not like a drop shipping company or nothing like that, where you just kind of hoping you get something that's the same every single time. Like no, I make the designs, I put it together, I send it out to them, and I have them ship and get all of it. So I mean,
Nice.
it's all me. And eventually, I want to try to get into having like some little clothing and stuff like too, like some hoodies, maybe a book bag or two, because I like rocking the book bag. I mean,
Hello.
I'm not in college anymore, but I still like putting the
Look,
book
you always had that book bag.
bag
I know.
on. Yeah, but it's a whole lot in it and nothing in it. Like this is my vibe, you know.
Absolutely.
Hey, you, I'm hype about it. It's my thing, man, and it's something I came up with in a moment where I thought life was probably gonna go back to what I was doing, and it wasn't gonna be as exciting or happy or fulfilling as I wanted it to be. But
Right.
because I was able to push through, because I was able to deal with those tough emotions in those moments and keep persevering, I was able to see a brighter day. So I mean, hey, as long as you keep pushing, you got it. And I was saying like music artist I like, Starlito. He had a saying that say you can't fail until you quit. Like these
Mhm.
watches are very much so representation of that. If I quit, none of that would have happened. If I went home, none of that would have happened. So
Mhm.
you just got to keep going. As you keep going, it's gonna keep getting brighter.
There you go. And I have nothing. You said everything I wanted to. And with that being said, I appreciate you. Pray that, we continue to climb whatever obstacles come across us. We just jump over and push through like we've been doing. And don't quit. Don't stop.
Yeah.
The support is here all the way from New York. We still supporting you. My time at Kennesaw was more than amazing, and I'm so appreciative of our friendship, our relationship, and most importantly, you're building your legacy for your family now, the little one, your future wifey, whichever direction you guys go. I'm so proud of you, and I'm once again thankful for you to be on my show and to just be able to spend this time just supporting one another.
Hey, for sure. And I thank you for supporting me, man. Like I
Of
definitely reached
course.
out to you because you've been a big supporter of mine. I want to find a way to be able to pour back into what you have going on as well. You can't say you're a friend to somebody and you're afraid to support them.
I
I
appreciate
want to be able to support as best I can. And hey, I don't do speaking engagements. I don't like talking in front of people, but I've made sure I found the comfort level to get on a podcast and be recorded on it too. Like my face is here. Like that's wild.
it is. It is.
You remember me from school, like a camera come out now, I freeze up. Like,
Right.
here
So
you go, man. So thank you for even thinking of me and allowing me to be on this and share my story.
of course. And with that being said, thank you guys. This was another Bronx with Biggie Monday Blues in Divine Timing. Just check us out. If you There's gonna be an audio and there's also a video, so on YouTube. So I'll put the link on Bill with Biggie on Instagram and Biggie0507BWB. So thank you again, Trimz. Once again, that's Divine Timing Watches on
Yeah,
Instagram and www.divinetimingwatches.com.
for sure.
All right. Thank you guys. Thank you, Trims.
Hey, have a good one, man. Be blessed.
Same to you. And